You've heard that mindset is everything, but maybe you brushed it off as too simple or maybe even too woo-woo. But trust me, I've seen millions of dollars in revenue come into businesses with just this one shift when it's combined with solid business practices. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step guide to figuring out your one great goal and aligning your systems to reach it faster than you thought possible. So the first step to reset your mindset in the new year is to clarify your revenue goal. And with goal setting, you might be tempted to make that a low and a safe number. And this is probably because you have some limiting beliefs, which we're going to talk about later in the video. But before we do that, the first step, again, is to clarify your goal for this year. What is the number in your heart of hearts, your true heart's desire that you want to create this year? And I'm pointing to your heart. I'm saying your true heart's desire because often we come up with goals from our brain. We're like, well, I think I want this, or you're kind of in that thinking mode. But it's like, I invite you to drop into your heart for a moment and check there. What do you really want? What have you been dreaming about? What would make the biggest difference if 1 year from now you hit X revenue number? So let's play with this for a moment. Let's say you've wanted a 7-figure goal for a long time. Maybe you've hit $500,000, maybe you've hit 600,000. You've kind of gotten stuck there, but you haven't made it to or over the $1 million mark yet. But in your heart, it's what you really want. The reason I want you to check in with your heart is because if you work from a number that you think, oh, I should do this, or wouldn't it be good if I did this, then unfortunately, it's going to be a lot more challenging to get there. When you drop into what your true desire is, like some goal that you've been thinking about for a long time, it's just easier. It's just like you're in the flow. And the other thing is when you get clear on this revenue goal and you create the revenue model that gets you to that goal, here's the truth. Whether you hit it or not doesn't really matter. But if you didn't open up that space, you wouldn't have gotten even close. So for example, let's say you didn't create a revenue model, but you were just thinking, I'd love to hit the $1 million, but you didn't put it in writing. Well, you might hit, again, like 500,000 or 600,000. We tend to stagnate where we were the year before if we don't create a new revenue model because it's what's in our subconscious mind. Whereas if you create a $1 million revenue model and you only, quote, hit 800,000, you're 200,000 to 300,000 ahead of where you would have been if you hadn't done that, right? And then it's getting you closer to your goal. So taking that one step on dropping into your heart and really deciding the revenue that you want is critical to truly reach your goals this year. Second, you want to be really clear on why you're creating this goal. So let's use the example of the revenue goal. You want to hit 7 figures in your business. Why? Why is that important to you? How long have you been thinking about it? What's going to be different in your business or your life when you hit this goal? Knowing why you're doing something is what will give you the momentum when you want to quit. Because I guarantee you there's going to be times when you want to stop, when you want to quit. And that's when you want to go back to your why. So maybe your why is because you want to have a better life for your family. You want to hit that goal because you want to send your child to private school, or you want to go on more vacations. Or maybe it's philanthropic. You want to give to more organizations. Or maybe it's all of the above, and that's awesome, and you've got a really big why. Again, knowing your why will carry you on the days that you want to quit. Third, when it comes to really creating your goal for the new year, you want to come up with your top 10 goals to discover your one great goal. I guarantee you on your list, you will have a revenue goal. Maybe that revenue goal will become your one great goal. Maybe it won't. It doesn't matter. I definitely encourage you to have it on there. The reason I want you to come up with your top 10 goals is because you want to have true momentum for the year. Especially now that you've created your revenue goal, it's like, what are you going to do with all that money, right? Where is it going to go? What are you going to spend it on in your business and in your personal life? So coming up with those top 10 goals gives you clarity on all the things that you're going to check off on your list this year. Now, sometimes when people do this, it can feel a little bit of a struggle to come up with those goals. So an easy way to come up with your top 10 goals is to ask yourself this question. Are you ready? Ask yourself, what are the top 10 things I'm tolerating in my business right now that I'm frustrated with, that I'm tired of dealing with? I guarantee you that on the other side of those things you're tolerating are the things that you do want. This was a technique that my friend Michael Leger, he's the author of the book Law of Attraction, good friend of mine, he came up with this method. It can give you crystal clarity in a second. So if you want to, you might want to stop the video for a moment and write down the top 10 things that you're tolerating in your business right now. And then next to that, next to each one, write what you really want, right? So for example, if you're tolerating working all the time and you're frustrated with that, then ask yourself, well, what do I really want? I only want to work 25 hours a week. Maybe that's what it is. So right next to that, you can say, I only work 25 hours per week. And you can write it in the present tense as if it's already happened. So again, this is how you can come up with your top 10 goals. Once you've got your top 10, what you want to do next is clarify them to figure out your one great goal. I go into this much deeper in other videos, so this is kind of the high level view of one great goal, but it's enough to at least get you through this process and get you through this part before we move on to the next section. So once you have your top 10, ask yourself, if I could let go of 5 of these, which 5 would I let go of? Put a minus sign in front of 5 and put a plus sign in front of your top 5. That allows you to see the top 5 goals you care most about. And then you let go of one more, keeping your top 4. You let go of one more, keeping your top 3, let go of one more, keeping your top 2, all the way to the top of your one great goal. When you get to the top 2, you may find that they're actually the same, and you can put those 2 goals together. For others of you, they're very different, and so you just want to choose one of them. Once you're complete with that, then you have your one great goal. There's no right or wrong. The secret in the one great goal, though, is by finding out what you really want. It's likely that when you achieve that goal, your one great goal, the rest of the goals on your list will also be accomplished. So you can do a little check on that and see if that's true. Once you have your one great goal, the next step is to ask yourself what you believe about it. What do I believe about this one great goal? Is it possible for me too? Does it seem like a stretch? Because often we have a limiting belief that comes up immediately about our one great goal that takes us off that path. Now, once you identify it though, and you say, oh, I have a limiting belief that this isn't possible for me. So then you can ask yourself, what's potentially not true about me thinking I can't have this goal or it's not for me? And you'll notice as you ask that question that this limiting belief starts to fall away because you start to see that it's really not true. It's not true at all. And once that limiting belief has dissolved, it starts to give you momentum to reach the goals that you really do care about. And there are steps that will show up, because what you'll notice next is that once you're clear on your one great goal, you've released your limiting belief. Then ask yourself, what are the first 2 steps that I see in front of me right now? And immediately you'll see those steps. They're already in front of you. And your job at that point is to take the steps that are right there. Over a year ago, I launched my latest book, Up Level Now, and it became a USA Today best-selling book. I remember when I was going through the process of deciding which marketing company I wanted to work with, I was looking at how much did I want to spend, how much did I want to invest, because it's definitely an investment when you're marketing a book. And I landed on the one that I really wanted, right? I knew that I wanted to invest at a high level in this book to get it out to as many people as possible. But I didn't know how would the money show up to pay for it? What was I going to do, right? At about that same time as I was making this decision, I finally, I said, I'm all in. I'm going to work with this. This is the marketing company I want to work with. It's more than I thought I was going to invest, but I'm going to do it. Immediately after I made that decision, a 6-figure client showed up, more than paid for that, for that investment. And not only that, but my book became a USA Today bestseller. That wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have gone through this process of really identifying what I wanted, what my goal was, and what my true heart's desire was, and how much I wanted to get this book out into the world. Again, when you do that, the next steps will reveal themselves. If you liked what you heard today, stick with me, because next up, we're going to talk about how to develop a growth mindset for business. And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.